So the new Disney Pixar movie Elemental just dropped, and I knew I was gonna go see it. But I really didn't know what to expect from it, to be honest. I don't know if you've seen the trailer. It kind of just looks like it's about some town full of the four elements, and some people have been comparing it to Zootopia, calling it a Zootopia ripoff, but it was so much more than that. If you haven't seen the movie yet and you plan to, you may want to click off this video as I'm going to be talking about a lot of spoilers from it. So anyways, the movie starts where we see this town for all the elements, and there's like different parts of the town where, different people live. Like, from what I saw, there seems to be a specific area for like the water folk. I think it's like different districts or something like that. The beginning of the movie, though, centers on this, like, fire people couple as they're looking for a new home. A lot of the places for rent that they visit turn them down because they're fire, and I guess fire people are dangerous, and they get a bad name. So there's, like, a small montage of them looking for a place until finally they find a house for sale. But it's not in great condition at all. Like, there's pipes dripping everywhere, and it just has not been kept up, it looks like. It's a disaster. So this fire couple is also expecting a baby, as you can see in the movie, and the husband decides to turn their home into, like, a shop. So one of the floors, I think it's the top floor, is, like, their house, and, like, the main floor is their shop, and they sell stuff for fire people. It was kind of hard to tell exactly what they were selling, but it was like sparklers and just like other flame resistant stuff. When the daughter is born, and her name is Ember, she's the main character you've probably seen in the trailers. Her dream and her life goal is to like take over the shop when her father Bernie retires. His name is Bernie, or that's what they call him here. The mom kind of has a job. I don't know, she smells smoke and can tell if two people are in love, like the smoke that comes off of them. It's kind of this cool thing she has going on. It's a little confusing, but it's kind of cool, and it's kind of like cool. But Ember works pretty much since she's a child at this job, and let's just say it's gonna take her a while to take over. As we see in the movie, Ember has a huge temper that causes her to turn purple, which means, like, rage to the fire folk, like, she's, like, about to explode. And during one day where she's trying to prove she can run it herself, on this busy day, it's called the Red Dot Sale, she ends up getting so overwhelmed that she runs downstairs and lets her rage out. I think it's downstairs. It might be upstairs. I'm not sure. And this is where the story progresses. It's also probably important to note that Bernie is kind of sick. He coughs up smoke all the time, and which is probably why he stresses that Ember gets her temper under control so that she can take over sooner so he can rest and retire. Anyways, getting back to Ember's blow up, she ends up bursting a lot of pipes from her rage, causing water to go everywhere, and as, you can tell, water plus fire does not equal good things. So she's freaking out, trying to fix this, and she's mad at herself that she let her temper go again, and she fixes the pipe with her fire, like melting the pipe together. But through all the water going around, this guy shows up.
The pipe squished me all out of shape.
Dang.
That's better.
Oh.
So this guy, his name is Wade, and he works for, I think it's like the city or something. He checks if businesses and places are up to code. So I guess when the pipes burst, he got sucked in through the water stream and ended up there. I guess he was like in the water checking for like leaks and stuff. Well, anyway, this guy at first, he kind of like really annoyed me, but from the trailer, I knew he was gonna be like a main character with Ember, so I was like, oh, maybe he'll warm up to me eventually. He did. Very much so. Wade ends up giving like 30-something citations to the shop, which is called the fireplace, funny, and he has to go report it, because, that's his job. Ember, not wanting to disappoint her dear old dad, chases him to stop it, but this goes on for a minute. They're like running after each other. It's so funny. Like, there's a whole montage of him just running, and she's jumping off different things trying to get to him because, she can't touch water and whatever. And they end up at the big office, and the citations have been sent in. Ember is then given the news by one of the big boss guys over there that her family shop will be shut down. So time goes on from here, and Ember is trying to figure out how to stop the store from being shut down. She ends up teaming up with Wade, and they work to figure stuff out. It results in Ember and Wade going to this sports game where Wade's boss is at. She's an air person. Her name is Gail. And I'm not going to go into like too much detail about that scene, but it was like really funny. And let's just say Ember's attitude towards Wade changes a little bit in this scene. So from here, Wade and Ember, they clearly catch some feelings for each other while they're like trying to fix the water problem in the fire district. And they get some like really cute montage scenes of them going on dates and stuff. And there's this one scene that's like really cute. I'm not really gonna describe it too much because you gotta watch it. In this air balloon, and oh my gosh, it's so good. So going away from their adorableness for a second, we go back to the water issue, and they find out it's caused by a leak in a dam. And they sandbag it to fix it, and it actually works to their surprise, or so they thought. One day, while Ember is working, it happens again, and Bernie, Ember's dad, thinks this is all caused by Wade, who he hardly knows because Bernie hates water people. He thinks they're trying to put them out, and they think they're bad, and he's banned from the store. And poor Wade, he's like trying to like make a good impression because he clearly likes Ember, so he eats like the fire food and it like boils him a little bit. He like it's too hot for him. Well, anyways, they fix the dam again from Ember melting sand into glass, but she made it some sort of like plexiglass, so again, problem solved. Her glass thing comes very important later. We then go back to Wade and Ember's relationship, my favorite part of the movie. She meets his family, and we find out that Wade's dad has also sadly passed, because, it really wouldn't be a Disney Pixar movie if it wasn't for someone's parents dying, It's kind of a key factor in these movies. So yeah, she meets his family, and we find out that water people are very emotional. Because throughout the movie, Wade has the tendency to cry at the littlest things, which is total mood, by the way, like, same. And they play this game in his family where they try to make each other cry, and it's really funny. Ember goes on to say she's never cried because she's fire. Fire people don't cry. Well, when it gets to Wade and Ember's turn to make each other cry, it's so cute. During the game, Wade professes his love for her in a super beautiful way, and it makes her cry. Like, she cries because she's truly fallen for him at this point. You guys are probably going to think like, whoa, now they're falling for each other based on what I'm saying. I just don't want to give too much away. You have to watch the movie to get it. It's so good. And after the dinner, Wade's mom says she snuck out to make a phone call and offers Ember an internship in an art place for her to use her gift of making cool, like, glass figures. And this makes Ember torn because, she's supposed to be taking over the fireplace like her father has always wanted her to, and she thought she always wanted to. Another cute moment is when Bernie tells Amber he's gonna retire and that she's ready to take over. Wade and Gail take Ember to see this flower thing she's always wanted to see but couldn't because firefolk were not allowed. Again, they were dangerous. The only thing is the flower is submerged in water because of a flood that took place years ago. So Gail makes this air bubble for her to go in and see it, and like Wade takes the air bubble and like swims her through, and they see it, and it's just a really cute scene. They have so many cute scenes, and she's so happy. After seeing the flower, they end up on these rocks near, I think it's like a river or something, I can't quite remember. And they touch, like they touch their hands together. Throughout the movie, they never really wanted to because they thought they would destroy each other. Like Wade thought he would put Ember out. Ember thought she would like what's the word? Evaporate him. That's the word. They don't. They touch hands and it's so cute. Um they dance and it really made me sad and made me cry. Like I was crying in the theater. Me and my bestie, we were crying in the theater. Um the moment is short-lived though because Ember has to remind herself of her duties to her family and she says this won't work. And this kind of frustrates Wade a little bit. Days go by and we're reaching the end of the film. Ember is getting ready to take over the shop. But during this whole like party thing, it's like a party thing. It's like a retirement party / Ember taking over. Wade shows up unannounced and crashes the party and he professes his love again. He tells her that he loves her. But Ember, not wanting to disappoint her family, tells him she doesn't. The mom, however, she's like, no, that's not true, because she can smell the love with the smoke, like we discussed earlier. Wade then accidentally reveals that it was Ember that broke the pipes, not him, like Bernie thought. And this infuriates Bernie. He tells his daughter she will not take over the shop now, she won't be ready, she's never going to be ready, and he is not retiring, he's still going to work. Moments later, a few minutes later, the glass shield on the dam ends up breaking and all of Fire District gets flooded. Ember tries to save everyone and her family's blue flame, which is very important, with the help of Wade, who comes back. He's like, he noticed she was in trouble. He was at home and saw the flood and he was like, oh my gosh, Ember. After this whole flood thing, trying to save the blue flame, Wade and Ember end up trapped in a room, but since it's so small and there's no ventilation and Ember's flame is so bright and hot, Wade ends up evaporating. And I cried again. Everything clears and Ember is just grief-stricken. She tells her dad she doesn't want to take over and she's sorry. We then find out Wade is actually still alive. He's seeped into the stone ceiling. So Ember, she gets an idea and she decides to play the crying game to make him form again. When he does, she reciprocates his feelings and they kiss. This brings us to the end of the movie where Ember and Wade go off to travel and Ember ends up taking that internship. It was so good. There was so many deep messages in this movie. Like, the first thing, the fire people, like, her parents immigrated to this place and their kind was just looked at as bad. Like, they're dangerous, they're hot-headed, they're destructive, they're everything. And they had to, like, build up a life for themselves. And yeah, there was just a lot of deep messages in this movie that I'm not going to go into all of them. You'll have to watch it to figure it out. And oh my gosh, like I'm a sucker for romance, okay? So my favorite part of the movie was Ember and Wade and how they just fell in love with each other, even though they were opposites, opposites attract, and it was so cute. Where can I get me a Wade? Okay, I mean, I know he's a water, but if he was like, he's literally made of water. So if he wasn't made of water and he was like a real person, I'd want him because he would just try to make Ember go after her dreams and saw the best in her even when everybody was like, oh, she's fire and So like the trailer really did it dirty, to be honest, in my opinion, and they really didn't like put it out as much. Like the trailer just made it look like it was gonna be everybody Like, I mean, I wish we did get to see a little bit more Earth, which there was this one character who was like kind of funny. He showed up like twice. He was an Earth guy, but I mean, I knew it was gonna center around water and fire, but oh my gosh, it was so good. And it's actually one of my favorite movies now at this point. It's probably in my top 5. So I highly suggest watching the movie. Guess I don't have too much negative to say about it, to be honest. My only thing was I wish they would have focused a little bit on the other 2 elements a little bit more. And I do wish we got to see a little bit more of Wade's family. They were hilarious. But other than that, it was such a good movie. That was my summary and review on Disney Pixar's Elemental. It's in theaters right now. You can go watch it. I highly recommend you go watch it. If you want me to review or summarize or both any other movies or shows that have recently come out, let me know in the comments, okay? This is kind of a new channel for me, and I'm really excited to do this cuz I love watching review stuff. So yeah, if you want to see me review and summarize any other shows or movies, let me know in the comments.